Jag Taggart 93 here with another comprehensive Doom WOD review. Today we're looking at a WOD called Double Reject. It is a 2-map pack by ETTiNGRiNDER. Now the maps here that we have are on the surface pretty standard stuff. First one is a hellscape, second one is a USC tech base. And I'll be honest, when I first saw this up on Doom World, I kind of looked it over. The maps were named Double Reject and I saw that as, okay, maybe this is a joke map or joke WOD, or maybe they're not really that good because you got the word reject in there, right? But no, apparently the story with these is that unfortunately these maps were not able to be completed for a community project in 2018-2019, but the map maker ETTiNGRiNDER gave them a little bit of polish, rolled them back to a more old school presentation and put them up on Doom World. And when I saw that they had a old school flair to them, I really wanted to give them a shot because that's really the type of WODs I gravitate towards. I do get a lot of requests asking if I can review different mods or different total conversions for Doom, and sometimes I'll try one or two of them, but I don't want anything that takes away from the spirit of Doom too much because, you know, I play Doom and Quake mainly just to make me remember the good old days, you know. So what we got here is map 1, Blood Forest, which the author claims was strongly inspired by Sandy Peterson's idea of Doom Hell and the kind of presentation that Sandy Peterson brought to his maps in the Doom games. So it's very interesting to see that what we got here is a blood forest, a forest full of blood lava, a couple trees, and a tech base in the middle of it, which is just kind of a little odd. In terms of aesthetics, I like it as a hellscape. I don't really like it as a forest. Now, that may sound very, very superficial, but when I see the name Blood Forest, I'm hoping for something a little different. I'm hoping for an actual forest set in hell. I think that could be done really well done. We don't see that happen too often. Usually when that is attempted, it's usually just a couple of the dead tree textures, a couple bodies here and there, and then you call it a day, and it's not really a full, lush green forest. One thing I would love to see would be a full, lush green forest that progressively gets more and more darker. Eventually the water starts turning into waste, and then maybe to mud, then to blood, and then the trees become more and more decayed and dead as you go on. Maybe change the skybox at 1.2 between, you can have a teleport or something like that, or between even maps, actually. A procedural thing I think would be really cool, but you know what, I'm just spitballing. In terms of how it is, as it is, it's a fine map, actually. It's a pretty dang good looking hellscape, and it's so big too, which is excellent for the combat, because the author said that while there's difficulty settings, they didn't really fine-tune the difficulty settings, but what we get here is a pretty challenging map where you're very, very tight in ammunition. You're going to appreciate the heck out of the chainsaw, especially if you didn't find the Berserk pack. And being able to instigate monster infighting is actually a lot of fun to do with how much space you're given and how often you're able to do it. The enemies are placed very cleverly around in sniping positions. The Lost Souls and Pain Elementals are given a lot of space to fly. Overall, it's a very, very solid map, and it looks, again, pretty good. I just wish it wasn't a Blood Forest. I just wish it was more of they just came out when it said Hellscape. Now, in terms of progression, it appears more open-ended than what it actually is. It's actually a pretty linear map. I did get stuck early on where to go. I wasn't really sure where to go. I thought I would have to go down below where the blood is, but again, that blood works like lava. It hurts you, and I didn't see a USC environmental suit anywhere, so no, couldn't go there. So I was completely stuck until I noticed this one flame above this pillar here that's green. I flipped that, found the map projection for the map, and then I saw where I had to go, and I had to go to this one area earlier on that had some pinkies in it that I was kind of avoiding. I had a feeling I might end up going there eventually, but I kind of wanted to avoid it because it seemed like a very enclosed area with pinkies, and again, ammunition was tight. I didn't want to waste ammunition on a spot where enemies are enclosed and can't chase you, so I hope that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, I ended up having to go there, and that's where I came to my first surprising ambush, actually. I knew the pinkies were there. I dropped down, but what I didn't expect to hear was a revenant screech, and that's what I heard right behind me, and that gave me a jolt. I immediately sprinted forward, and I did something you usually don't want to do. I sprinted forward and purposely tried to get between two pinkies. Now again, that's usually just asking for a bad time when you do that, but my method was, if I get between two pinkies, the pinky that's behind me can act as a shield for the bony boy, for the revenant, and then while the revenant and the pinky hopefully are fighting or at least while the Revenant can't get to me because the Pinky's in the way, I could attack the Pinky in front of me or try to get some room or handle it. And yeah, it worked out for me actually. But that was a really cool thing. I wasn't expecting to find a Revenant down there actually. And throughout this entire map, and the next map too, you find similar ambush points like that. Some very clever tricks and traps. The lighting is very good on the inside. There's one weird light area though. It's right in front of this goat head door. And, well, it's not really a door, it's actually texture. But anyway, you got this light shaft right here. And the light shaft right in front of it actually damages you. And I thought that was kind of cheap. I've never seen damage come from something like that before. I kind of get the idea, like this image of this goat head maybe like cursed or whatnot, and it's some kind of magical energy pulsing off of it that's damaging you. But you know what? I just felt that was a little cheesy, not great. And one other critique I have about the map is how it ends. I feel like a lot of times too with quality maps, the endings sometimes fall apart, and here it's not bad. It's just kind of odd. It's an anticlimactic ending. You see a switch that looks like it should be a map ending switch, so I flip the switch. Map doesn't end. I get a teleporter. So I'm thinking, okay, more to the map. I go to the teleporter, and then the map ends. Really weird having a switch right in front of a teleporter to end the map, and not just have the switch end the map. I don't know, maybe the author really wants you to engage the imps that are guarding the switch, but again, it's on ultraviolence. Why is it only imps? By this point in the map, and yeah, ammunition was tight, I still had plenty of cells to go. Well, okay, about 50, but still, you could have had a Baron of Hell or a Hell Knight here guarding the switch instead of just imps, right? And, yeah, for a map set in Hell, there's actually a questionable lack of goats, actually. Not a lot of goats. I don't really recall, I could be wrong, but I don't recall seeing any Hell Knights or Hell Barons here, and yeah, we're supposed to be in Hell. That being said, it's a pretty good map, pretty solid, and set the tone for what comes next with the second map, which is Top Secret Research Facility. Now, this is a tech base, and the author said that he saved the harder one for the second map, and this one's supposed to be harder than the first, and I didn't really find it too much harder. The scale of enemies increases, like there's a Cyber Demon here, there's an Archvile, there's definitely more goats. There's a Hell Knights and Hell Barons. So the type of enemy difficulty increases definitely, but in terms of difficulty overall, I felt like the environment and the type of combat you encounter here is very similar to the first map. It is definitely harder than the first map, but not too much harder. And I think most of the difficulty doesn't really come from the quality of enemies, because a lot of them, if you're smart, you can run by and be careful with ammunition, and you should be a-okay. The difficulty spike comes from the increased length of this map, actually. There's a lot more enemies and there's a lot more map here. Also, unlike the first map, this one is a lot less linear. There are entire sections you can completely miss in this map that you don't have to go to. And sometimes some of those sections will pay off and reward you. Some of them, honestly, it's not worth the hassle going for them. So, some areas, yeah, I would see an enemy, like an Archvile, but I would see some goodies I want, and I would try it. I would get to it. Other areas, I just said, nope, I'm not going there unless I absolutely positively have to. And for some of those areas, yeah, I didn't have to. For some enemies, you didn't really have to engage because they're on platforms and they wouldn't really get at you. And knowing that helps a lot with saving ammunition. And yeah, no, I really love that the author had that in mind when they made this map, actually. The lighting and the ambience is very good. The rooms are very smartly laid out as well too. It's a tech research facility, and some of the rooms are pretty realistic. We do have a computer room, what looks like a boardroom as well. The hallway ambush I really enjoyed as well. And one of my favorite rooms, I'm not really sure how to explain it, but one of my favorite rooms is this Hellcore kind of room, right? It's a tech room. There's computer panels all around the walls, but right in the middle is a glowing red hellish core of molten rock and lava, which just seemed very evil, very foreboding, but so damn cool, actually. And again, it's stuff like that that really helps bring a map to life. The idea with this map, too, was the idea that you have a tech facility doing experiments on hell specimen, hell artifacts, and hell demons, and you see things like that, and it really brings it all together. Really great stuff. Again, ammunition is extremely, extremely tight. For my first playthrough, when I was playing this, I actually bolted to the end. It was pretty funny, actually. I spent a lot of it with my chainsaw, and even though it's mostly enclosed, this map, it's much more indoors than the first map. You still have plenty of room to move, plenty of opportunities to do monster infighting. One room I really enjoyed with combat was the Revenant ambush, where Revenants start teleporting in, but you also get a mixture of other enemies to teleport in too. And as tempting as it is to try and kill the Revenants as quickly as possible, it's just so much fun to just run around, strafe, and strafe rockets into other things. Really, I haven't had that much fun trying to provoke monster infighting in a while, actually. So, great stuff. Really enjoy the second map, and I think the second map is the stronger of the two. But the first map is pretty good too. Overall, I would give this one a 83% for both maps. 83% for me means excellent, and I definitely recommend you try it out this weekend. Alright, and that's all I really have to say about it. Thank you all for watching. This is Jag Taggart 93 signing out. You have a good one.